Hello everybody, welcome back. Sin City Living, Jason here bringing you today's video. Once again, we've actually gotten 0 emails this time around. No strategies, no questions, no requests for any videos, any games, anything along those lines. So we're just going to go with what I have come across from any questions I may have gotten on the games. And today I'm going to talk about something that we've talked about many times, and that is drop cutting and picking. We've talked about it a whole bunch about how it's an important, critical skill for dealers, and how many dealers, especially newer dealers, never really seem to master it. And I'm actually going to switch over first. Instead of talking about drop cutting first, I want to talk about picking first. Picking checks. The reason for that is because there was a comment that was made on one of our other videos about this that was clearly not from anybody that has ever dealt craps or spent much time in the casino industry at all. One of the things that we tell new dealers, especially in their training, they should master picking long before they make it to their casinos, but I'd say about 1 in 5 don't. About 1 in 5 don't, and then they struggle when they go to the casinos. Additionally, I'd say another 20 to 40% of people that learn craps, when they go to their casinos, they don't end up on craps. They end up on blackjack, roulette, the other games. Very rarely deal craps, so they lose their core skills. Then eventually they finally get an opportunity to go start dealing craps, and they can't pick anymore. And what we tell them is stop turning your hand sideways. Stop turning your hand sideways and looking at the chips. And the reason for that is because every time you look, your eyes override your sense of touch, and you will never learn how to pick if you continue doing that. Not it's going to take you longer to learn how to pick. Not it's going to take you 3 months instead of 3 days to learn how to pick, or it's going to take you 6 months instead of 3 days to learn how. You will never learn how to pick if you continue to look at your hands every single time. All right? And the person who made the comment says, they should look at their hands because otherwise they're going to make mistakes when they come out, and then it slows the game down. Yeah. Well, first off, the ones that are doing that are at a break-in casino. The game is already going mind-numbingly slow. One, because of the players. Break-in casinos are local casinos, and they know they have brand new dealers, so they stroke the hell out of them in the attempt to take a shot, or just to make themselves feel like a big guy in a small pond, a big fish in a small pond kind of thing. We have locals that buy in for $300-400, and they act like the players at Center Strip that are buying in for say $3 million, $300,000. Those are big players, big dogs. The guy buying in for $300 once a week is a big player at a small local casino, and they act like it. And then they stroke the hell out of the dealers. Trust me, the games go mind-numbingly slow at a break-in casino, regardless of whether or not they're looking at their hands. And yes, they're going to make mistakes when they pick, when they're not looking, and they're going to catch it out here, and it's a very quick, easy fix. Takes less than 1/10 of a second to bring your hand back, grab that extra chip, and bring it back out, or to grab the extra one that you would put out and bring it back to your original stacks. It does not add anything to the game. It does not make it more difficult for the box. It does not slow the game down significantly for the players. Now, all the rest of the things that are going on, because they are break-in dealers, be it their own skills and the players, that's what's slowing the game down. The break-in houses, well off strip, the ones that hire straight out of a dealing school, those games are going to run slow no matter what. They run slower than anything else in town, period, bar none. This particular skill has 0 bearing on it. Trust me on that. Additionally, if they are doing it properly and not looking at their fingers, they will learn how to pick in less than 1/4 of a shift. Even the most hard-headed will learn it in 1 shift. Guaranteed. As long as they put the effort in. Put the effort in and stop being lazy looking at their fingers. Same thing actually applies to drop cutting. The ones that sit there, turn their hands sideways, cut it out, and look every single time, never learn how to drop cut. And their drop cuts always go slow. Always go slow. Which holds them back from eventually being able to work in a Center Strip place as a craps dealer. I have actually know a few that work Center Strip that get thrown on craps once every 3 or 4 months because they had other people call out, a couple of people on vacation, maybe somebody went home sick, and 2 others took an early out, and all of a sudden they have nobody else but this guy that knows craps, has been dealing for 4 or 5 years, knows craps, but frankly sucks at it. So they get thrown on the game. But every few months, it's going to happen. Even on center strip, it's going to happen. All those dealers that have 10, 15 years of experience, there's quite a few of them that know craps but have almost no actual experience on it. They don't deal it very often. But every so often, an emergency happens, we got to put them on. It's going to happen, but the rest of the table can usually manage to float and carry a weaker dealer. But drop cutting is something that absolutely must be learned. Now I want to go back over this with you. There are multiple ways to drop cut. Multiple ways to drop cut. Now this is one where I'm going to turn my hand sideways just so the camera can see. Okay? Multiple ways to drop cut. If I want to drop cut 3 checks, I can lift. I lift with my hand. Bring it closer so you guys can see. I lift with my index finger. It's my middle finger that is actually feeling the 3 checks. Right? That actually feels whether or not there's 3 checks. So when I'm drop cutting 3, I lift my index or my middle finger, feels it, and I drop them on down. Right? And I tried to splash that out so you guys can see, but it's 3. Okay. Let my middle finger feel it. Drop down my 3. Okay. Another option is what I call the pushing the stack back. Can you guys see that? Pushing the stack back. Right? That is another viable method. There we go. I personally do the lift most of the time, and on 5 I have a tendency to do it. Well, on 5 I have a golly, because I grabbed such a big stack. I have a tendency to do the pushback. Right? I tend to push back on 5. Reason being, 5 is so much that my finger really doesn't actually feel the 5. It has trouble differentiating between 4 and 5. So mostly I know how far back I need to pull my index finger up in order to do that pushback and actually mess that one up. Right? 5 is actually the hardest one to drop cut. And the final method of drop cutting is from the back, rolling it out with the thumb. And I'd say about a quarter of the dealers I know do that. They drop cut by rolling it out from the back with their thumb. Okay? It's my least favorite, but they're all viable methods of drop cutting. They can all be equally smooth. So whichever one feels right to your hand. When you first start out, none of them are going to feel right to your hand. Absolutely none of them. So whichever one you put a little bit of effort in and learn how to do. Drop cutting, however, core skill that you absolutely must learn how to do. Hope everyone finds this interesting, illuminating, enlightening, or at least just plain fun. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye now.